We still don't have a coalition government. We still have nothing, essentially. We have a government of national nothingness. And I'm so tired. 12:10 now on a Friday as we record. Maybe by the time this video comes out, they will announce some kind of agreement, but I'm pretty sure that they won't. So this video is about why the coalition talks are taking so long, these silly negotiations that we as a country have been subjected to with stupid subtweets, stupid leaks, stupid letters, and the reason why they still haven't come to a ruling agreement. This is The Issue with Dan Corder. South Africa is a movie. Welcome to the watch party. And right now, the South African movie that we're watching is called Groundhog Day, featuring Tom Hanks, where every single day is exactly the same. Let's get into it. So, here's what we already obviously know. The ANC and the DA decided to create a ruling government of national unity, and that's because the ANC got 40% and the DA got 20%, so together they could get 60%. And some are now saying that this is an absolute disaster for democracy because no single party is ruling on their own. It's a crisis, to which all of us say, no, this is great. This is what a competitive democracy is supposed to be, where no single party is big enough to rule on their own. It means that they all have to be accountable to us, to the will of the people. The problem is that the ANC and the DA, the second that the results came out, decided, screw the people, screw them, now we fight for ourselves. I know that every single person who has a job in the world is self-interested. You want a promotion, you want to be paid more, you want job security, you want prestige, and you want adoration and praise for the work that you do. But politicians have the job where they pretend that they're not doing that to get our votes. They pretend that they're fighting for the people and the country and our best interest, but really they're just fighting for themselves. And politicians in particular have so much egotism, so much narcissism baked into themselves because all that they do for money is run popularity contests that they try to win, that we are sometimes left in these situations. As you know, the ANC and the DA need each other to rule. They've decided to govern together. And in the last 2-3 weeks, we have witnessed them squabbling so stupidly. And what it means is the country is just on pause. We haven't moved as a country in 3 weeks. These people, this group of politicians who between all of them have done next to nothing in the last 10 or 15 years to help us South Africans, to help the country. Many of them have just damaged the country. Zizi Kodwa is back in parliament as a member of parliament, despite the fact that he resigned as minister just a few weeks ago when he was arrested on credible bribery and corruption charges. We have seen letters get leaked to the press. The DA leaked a letter saying, they want 10 ministries out of the 30 or 31 ministers, even though less than 2 months ago they were saying that the number of ministries should be cut in half. It should go down to 15, even though also 2 months ago they were saying that they would never work with the ANC under any circumstances. They must be got out of power. The IFP also said that, and now they're in power with the African National Congress in KZN. So the DA leaks a letter. They're trying to win in the media and influence the negotiations. The ANC comes out and says, why did you leak that letter? Ronald Amola said that they actually saw that letter in the media before it got into their emails. So he might be telling the truth, he might not be, but maybe he's telling the truth, and maybe the DA leaked it to the media first, trying to influence public perception that the ANC was being unreasonable. And they also called for all of the key ministries. They wanted communications and DIRCO, which they knew that the ANC would never do because the DA has had a distinctly don't ask us approach about Palestine and Israel, whereas the ANC has a very clear approach about Palestine and Israel. But you want them to hand over the diplomatic corps to you, Democratic Alliance. You want them to hand over communications to you, Democratic Alliance. Then the ANC says, we're not going to give you 10, we're going to offer you 3. But did they even really do that? Did they offer 6? We don't know, because these people are just squabbling in letters, trying to compromise each other's positions and appearances in public. This week, the DA is saying, no, we want you to go back to the original offer that you gave us, ANC, because you've changed your offer. Instead of offering us 6 ministries, you've offered us 6 ministries, but changed one from an important one to a non-important one. Then we got another letter saying the DA's list of demands of what they want, that they want to be able to affect the director generals as appointments, which is just cadre deployment. That's what it is. They want to revise all of these director general's positions and maybe put in their people. Haven't you been complaining about cadre deployment for the longest of times? Then Cyril Ramaphosa releases a letter called the Dear John letter, where he says that Helen Zille's behavior in public was like offensive and condescending and unacceptable. And he said that some of the DA's requests were legally incompetent. And some of us went, wow, what an incredible letter. But then I had to stop myself and think, Cyril's also playing this game. They are probably all changing offers, changing positions, trying to twist each other and move each other in and out of power before just coming to an agreement, when they could just act like adults and come to an agreement. The truth is that we don't know what's happening in these negotiations, because not a single one of these politicians from any of these parties has proven themselves to be trustworthy. None of them has given evidence more than any other party that their letters or subtweets or leaks reflect what has actually been going on. And instead, they have been screwing around for 3 weeks in utter disrespect of the South African public. And while I'm here, many members of the mainstream media, you also need to take a look at yourselves. Last night, a newspaper tweeted that the DA had walked away and the deal was off just after the Dear John letter. They haven't done that. That is spreading of fake news. Another very prominent news media organization is just parroting and releasing Democratic Alliance talking points to the whole country. No matter what the DA or the ANC does, they're just parroting those talking points, saying the ANC needs to become humble and learn that they only got 40% of the vote. They need to cede much of their power to the opposition. That's what the people wanted. No, because the ANC may have got 40% of the vote, but they still got twice as many votes as the second biggest party. They need to share power. But the high horse that the smaller parties are currently on, the delusion of them to overstate their importance to this coalition, should be studied in Psychology 1 classes at university. Then there's another prominent media organization that is parroting Cyril Ramaphosa talking points and saying that the ANC is trying their best and they are the adults in the room and they are the ones who are really trying to bring democracy, and they've always been the great carriers of democracy. You just put Zizi Kodwa back in Parliament, a member of Parliament. You made him. He's just been arrested on credible bribery and corruption charges. He resigned as minister in disgrace. You are the ones, your political party has driven this country into the absolute disaster class that it now is. Every single public service, every single organ of state, every single department in government is in crisis, corruption riddled, in debt, and it's causing people's lives to fall apart. And now you're on the high horse saying that you are the great carriers of democracy. You are the ones who've been holding South Africa in this beautiful state of grace. Give me a break. Do a deal or move on. Your job that you were elected to do, every single one of you, for extraordinary amounts of money, for fabulous salaries, for exceptional benefits. You, the political class that has been elected, you are immediately, by virtue of your jobs, in the top 0.001% most blessed people in this country. Do a deal or move on, but whatever you do, do it now so you can get to doing your job, which is fixing this country, helping the people who elected you, entrusted you with power, and the most fabulously blessed lives. We as a country have had enough. Get over yourselves, grow up, do your jobs.